Our region's business is sponsored by PNC for the Achiever in You.
Well, if you're thinking of spending a day at the museum this holiday season, maybe the day after enjoying the movie Night at the Museum, Secret of the Tomb at your local theater, you might want to consider bringing your family along and even your family artifacts to the Heinz History Center. Not that they're all going to come to life, but there's a whole new way to preserve those family heirlooms for future generations. And that's because the History Center is now offering its expertise to folks through a new museum conservation center that gives both advice and provides services to help visitors preserve and care for those family treasures. Andy Masich's back with us. He's president and CEO of the Senator John Heinz History Center. Welcome. Good to see you again.
It's good to be here.
Yeah, it's a big time of year for you.
It is. You know, when families get together over the holidays, you know, they get kind of homebound for a while and the kids get antsy, so it's good to get them out of the house and take them to the History Center, run them a little bit. There's 370,000 square feet of museum there in the Strip District.
On multiple floors,
That's
even
right.
better, right?
7 floors.
Down the stairs.
Yeah, you can spend 3 or 4 hours pretty easily there.
Now, unlike the movies, the artifacts don't come to life, though, do they?
Well, in fact, Bill, we do have a program called Night at the Museum. Now, you have to schedule it. We usually do it with groups of about 200 or so, and you can spend the night at the museum or have a late night adventure. And those lifelike figures that we have, well, you know what? They come to life at the History Center. And so you can talk to young George Washington or little Andy Carnegie, or maybe run into George Westinghouse. And we run people through the back parts of the museum, through the kitchen and through the conservation area, and they all make it down to the ground floor. The lights are all dim.
Oh my gosh, okay.
And then, of course, George Westinghouse usually figures out how to throw the breaker and turn the lights back on. And
I love it. So that for a great event or a family reunion or something, it sounds like you could relive the movie right here in our region. But speaking of family heirlooms, this whole conservation center, because every museum, I guess, has a conservation center of some sort.
For years,
right?
Museums have taken care of their own collections, restoring things and conserving them. Conserving means, in museum lingo, to try to stabilize an artifact or an antique in a way that doesn't make it look brand new again, but keeps it from deteriorating. And we call that conservation. Well, we've set up an artifact conservation center.
I think we have a little video of it. You can kind of see it's right over there, just right next door to your building.
Right behind the History Center. It actually faces on Penn Avenue and is connected by a bridge across the alley. And that conservation center has experts in it. So if you bring in a painting, a rocking chair, an old wedding dress, and need it conserved so it won't fall apart, so it'll be there for future generations, we have the expertise to help you. And it's a fee-for-service kind of business. And we're the only museum in the country that's offering that service to the general public.
Wow, so you can get that kind of expertise. And we saw a painting there in a second. We're looking at, I guess that's probably silver plate,
you know, and some silver is plated, some of it is solid. We've got stereo microscopes. We can look at the molecular structure of objects and help you decide not only how to restore or conserve them, but how to store them, how to take care of them so they won't deteriorate.
Well, I think they told me that's a wedding dress there, and you think, you know, a lot of people box up their wedding dresses and put them in the attic or whatever.
That's right, and sometimes it's the process of folding that can do the most damage. So there are ways to pack and store things, laying them flat. If you've got textiles that some people might consider folding, well, you know, rolling them might be better. Interleaving it with acid-free tissue.
And then books you talk about as well, acid-free and all the issues around deterioration.
That's right.
Paper,
you don't ever want to put those books in polyvinyl chlorides or plastic bags that will off-gas and actually embrittle the paper, make it fall apart. So there's lots, not just in physically treating the object, but in storing and handling them, that we can teach people. We do workshops too. You'll see some coming up in February and March and April for photographs and paper items, books, manuscripts, diaries, things like that.
So in addition to running the kids up and down the regular museum, bring your things, and there's an opportunity to participate in a workshop or get some advice and guidance.
At the Artifact Conservation Center. You can find out more about it online or or give us a call. And if mom is there getting an assessment on her silver service or that wedding dress, maybe the kids can come and see the Steamboat Arabia exhibit.
Spectacular exhibit.
You know,
yeah.
and that's an amazing conservation story too, because they found 1 million objects 45 feet under a cornfield in Kansas City, but everything was perfectly preserved because it was in a watery, anaerobic environment, no oxygen.
So you got all that there. I remember we did it over the summer when you first opened it, but that's winding down now, right?
That's
There's
right.
not much time left to see it.
It'll be here till January 11th, but you can see 150-year-old pickles and ketchup. The pickles are still green in the jars. They're still edible.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
So take a look at those and see another side of the museum conservation story, how to take care of things that have been buried, literally, for 150 years.
Yeah, I know we got a 30-second sneak preview of something that the public can't see until later on next year, and that's this new visible
storage.
area?
Yeah. You know, people always wonder what's on the other side of that wall at the museum. It's where we store the objects of history, Pittsburgh's memory. Well, now you'll be able to, in our Falk Collection Center, walk across a bridge and go right into the storage vaults and see the gun collection, paintings, glassware.
And that's where most of your stuff is, right, in storage?
It's true of most museums. What you see on exhibit is just the tip of the iceberg. About 80% of that iceberg is underwater, and in case of the museum, it's behind the walls. Well, we're going to open up those walls and let people go into the storage areas, certain storage areas, and see all that stuff that's been hidden away for 100 years.
Well, 'tis the season to check it out. Andy Masich from the Heinz History Center. Thanks so much. Good to see you again.
You bet.
Happy New Year. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
And we'll be back in a minute with little dollars and cents. Stay with us.